When I think of the worst of the Fourth Doctor's stories, I can't agree with the mighty 200 on what's truly the worst. At number 197 is Underworld, and while it's terrible, it still proves enjoyable. Same with number 189's The Horns of Nimon and number 188's Meglos. And although I hate Lalla Ward's acting in Creature from the Pit, and let's not even get started on that laughable monster, it's more than made up for by Geoffrey Bayldon, who was originally considered for the First Doctor. Even something as bland as Nightmare of Eden gets a pass from me. Welcome to the Snake Pit, where we're full of bile and venom. I'm your host, Snake Demon, and today I'm going to talk about number 130 on the list. That's right, it's a story featuring the Trinity Revenge of the Cybermen, and trust me, there's plenty to say. The Doctor, Sarah Jane and Harry return to the Nerva Beacon, where they had previously been during the arc in space. This time the station is abandoned and in orbit around the planet Voga, home to the rare mineral gold, which is deadly to the Cybermen. The crew is caught in the crossfire of a war between the surviving Cybermen and the Vogans. Commander Stevenson and his crew are slowly being wiped out by a mysterious plague, but it's soon revealed that one of their own, Kelman, is a traitor working with the Cybermen. The Cybermen plan to destroy Voga, to eliminate the gold threat once and for all, while the Doctor and his companions try to stop them. From the moment this story starts, I take issue with it. Part of the reason is Kelman. He's supposed to keep himself and 3 others alive as part of the plan. Yet, what does he do? He kills one of them before he even knows the Doctor, Harry and Sarah have arrived. Really, this idiotic self-sabotaging nonsense doesn't make any sense. You can't even justify it as a plan gone wrong because it's not a mistake, it's just lazy writing. And then we have to talk about the masks. Look, I get it. Cutting costs was a major issue in the 1970s production, but this was beyond cheap. Instead of making new prosthetics or something that would actually enhance the alien look, we get crew members walking around with what looks like half a mask slapped on their faces. It's painfully obvious that this was a budget-saving tactic. And can we talk about those Gallifreyan symbols on Voga? The script just throws them in without any explanation. What are they doing there? What connection does this random planet full of gold have with the Time Lords? It's never addressed. The story drops these visual breadcrumbs and then completely ignores them like we're supposed to just shrug it off. It's lazy storytelling, leaving you wondering if they even cared about consistency or lore at all. Now let's talk about the Cybermen. Bland, so damn bland. The design feels like they took whatever scraps they had lying around from previous stories and cobbled it together with no creativity. These are supposed to be one of the Doctor's most iconic enemies, but they look like someone just threw tinfoil over some cardboard tubes and hoped for the best. And don't get me started on their voices. These Cybermen sound way too human. Where's the cold, calculating menace? They sound like they're about to offer you a cup of tea instead of threatening to destroy entire worlds. It's completely wrong for the tone that the Cybermen should carry. The pacing of the story is dreadful. For a 4-part serial, it drags. The Doctor and company spend too much time wandering around corridors or dodging the bland Cybermen, and the stakes never feel particularly high. You've got a plot revolving around the destruction of an entire planet and a war between races. And yet it feels like nothing is really happening. There's no tension, no atmosphere, just a slow march to an ending that we all saw coming from the beginning. And speaking of that ending, let's address it. It's absurd. The Cybermen's plan is so convoluted, it feels like the writers were just making things up as they went along. Destroying Voga, fine. But the way it all comes together feels so sloppy, with poorly constructed action scenes and a resolution that's about as thrilling as watching paint dry. Even the Cybermen's big plan fails with such an anticlimactic whimper that it's almost insulting. I skip watching this story unless I'm doing a full marathon of the series. And even then, I do it begrudgingly. It doesn't add anything to the Cybermen's legacy. It doesn't do the Fourth Doctor era any favors. It's a dull, lifeless entry in the show's history, and I'll never understand why anyone would rank this as high as 130. To me, it deserves to be buried somewhere near the bottom, right next to the likes of Time Flight or The Twin Dilemma. I'm Snake Demon, and this has been The Snake Pit. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. Like the video and leave your opinions in the comments, where I won't read them.